following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Welcome back to the Virtuosos podcast. I'm your host, Jules Houston. Before we get into everything that we had to talk about, just want to say our condolences to Chance Bandero's family. He passed away last week in a motorcycle accident. 27 years old. Star of Gen V. He played Andre Anderson, I want to say his name was. And he was also in Netflix show Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Very sad. We watched Gen V. We talked about Gen V. We reviewed Gen V. It was very, very good. He was a very prominent character. It's gut wrenching. It's sad. It's like you don't ever expect like nobody in Hollywood to just pass away randomly, especially at 27 years old.
And in the way he did too.
Yeah, like my motorcycle accident. Just hate to see it. Damien, anything you gotta?
No, man, it's just tough to see that. I mean, he was clearly a rising star. I mean, when Gen V was as successful as it was coming off The Boys Universe, he clearly was going to be a big part of that going forward. Probably the second biggest character behind Marie.
Yeah.
And to see, I mean, it was big enough that they basically not canceled the show, but we don't know when it's going to get made now.
Yeah.
They completely stopped filming. There's delayed indefinitely. There's no update, and there shouldn't be. They deserve all the time in the world to grieve and to figure out what to do next with it. But, I mean, like I said, anytime you see an actor pass away unexpectedly like that, it's just sad to see. Like I said, especially tragically. Like I said, motorcycle accident is unbelievable to think about.
Yes. So. I don't even know. I don't even want to theorize like what they could possibly do.
Right.
Because
it's not even something I think to get into at this point.
March 30th. Like they're grieving. They postponed the season, which rightfully so. Like you said, very prominent character, was obviously up there with Marie for like I guess you could say the main actor role. Yeah. I would say it's just unfortunate, man. Like when I seen it, I was like I'm not seeing what I'm seeing because I was
it popped up, I had to send it in the group chat, man. Because I'm like, there's no way, man. Yeah. Like, that's just like I said. It's sad to see anybody pass away, but like I said, when you see somebody like that, a rising star like that, it's kind of just like unbelievable, you know.
Yeah. But to get into our main topic today, Damon posted a video this morning. Non-comic viewer, doesn't read at all. Actually,
I'm not talented.
His invalid opinion. He posted that about 4:00 this morning, and it did some pretty good numbers. If you guys want to go watch that, it is spoilers in it. There's also spoilers in this episode. We're gonna get into the entirety of season 2, basically, and basically previewing season 3 as well. But Damon, for you, you've been leading the way basically for the Invincible stuff. I guess you could reiterate, basically what you were going in that video.
All right, so in my opinion, season 2 finale was solid. Wasn't the best, the greatest. And I said in the video like it really was a tease for season 3 as opposed to wrapping up season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know that they have multiple seasons, worth of comics that they could still touch on, but I mean, I feel like their development of Engstrom Levi, whatever his name is, was poor. I felt nothing for him, like the entire episode. Like I said in the video, until he broke Debbie's arm, I did not give a fuck about him. Like he was just there, just mad at people. Like, and your reasoning for being mad already was like, you know what I'm saying? You doing too much, and Mark being in the way is why you mad at him. Like you want to kill his family because of that. I don't know, but I don't know, man. It finished okay. Wasn't the greatest ending. I still think episode 7 was like the best episode so far, the entire show.
Yeah, I agree.
So the following week after that, for this to be episode 8, the finale, man. So that's what I really got to say about it.
Damien, you were about to add to the Engstrom Levi stuff, sound like.
I mean, I talked to Jules about it before, obviously, we got here. I feel like Jules said it's just he served a purpose. I don't think he was ever meant to be like this villain. I know they made him look like that in the trailers and all that. I don't think he was ever meant to be like the villain, like Omni-Man was the villain in the first season or anything like that. I don't think he was ever meant to be like that guy where you're like, oh shit, no, like they got to build up to him. You know what I'm saying? Like he sprinkled in here and there. I mean, because Mark even says it. Mark doesn't remember him when he sees him.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point. Like he's not as important of a character as what I think people were trying to make it seem like he was. Like he was just there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mark didn't remember him when he first saw him. He was like, because he only ever saw him the one time. You know what I'm saying? He shows Mark these other worlds and, you know, and puts Mark through this stuff with these other dimensions. A lot of cool cameos and callbacks and stuff like that. But I think it's just, he was just there to serve a purpose and really just to get to the point where you see Mark snap.
Yeah.
And actually see what he can become with his powers. You know, like this whole time it's not about, everybody's like, he's weak, he's not strong. It's not that he's not strong, he's scared to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And he finally gets pushed past the point of where he can kill somebody.
Yep.
I think that's really all it was for him. Like, I agree with what you're saying, because if you market him the way they marketed Angstrom, you expect more out of him.
Yeah.
So that's a valid argument to have, that he was a weak villain as far as what we got.
Yeah.
But I just feel like for what they used him for, it just made sense. You know what I'm saying?
Before you get into it, Demond, when we look at the overall story from Angstrom Levi, from all the variants that he got all into one room, and they kind of had the evil one or like the outcast one, they really didn't talk too much, and then the one good one, and I thought that would kind of play a role into it, and they would kind of go into like the fact that he had his dual personalities and like how he was fighting off all these thoughts and whatnot,
Right.
and then come into play obviously to the finale, which I thought was a very good visual, and I thought it was a very good callback to him. Mark is the thorn in his side. He cannot escape him in any universe, and the one universe that he can escape him and possibly beat him in is the one he got killed in.
Yeah.
So it kind of is like he never got killed by
even what Debbie
Invincible,
said-
but he killed everybody around him.
And even what Debbie said, she literally said, she was like, it's not about the fact, like, you know, you're spiraling because in the one universe where you could have beat Mark, you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
And Mark's the good guy.
Yeah.
So in this every other universe, you're the good guy and you want to defeat Invincible because he turns.
Yeah.
But now you're spiraling because you're the bad guy in this Invincible's universe and he's the good one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, and it was a cool visual, like I said, to see why he is this way. He can't escape it. He took in all of his other variants
Yep.
into his mind, and he's seen his friends, his family, his kid. We see it all in all the things. They're ripped apart in front of him every single time.
Yep.
They
always stop before he gets killed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he has to see the worst.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he
so that's
feels
what
the pain of losing all these people right in front of him. You see him as a cop. You see him with his wife. You see his kid get ripped apart. You see it in like, and it's crazy to see like this is Mark in almost every other universe, except for ours. That he is exactly what Omni-Man wanted him to become. You know, so obviously it makes sense as to why Angstrom is as angry as he is. You know, when you take in all those minds, that's just what happens. You know, it was clearly he was never going to be normal after that. You know what I'm saying?
You did bring up a good point though, with him not supposed to be like this most prominent villain.
I feel like the season just didn't have one.
Yeah,
I think it was more
just-
so, like you said, a setup. It's like, okay, we know that the Viltrumites are the main threat right now. You know, and that's why they bring in Anissa. And that's why they bring General Craig is in there so much. And you know what I'm saying? And Alan finally comes back and he's stronger now because they need him for the Viltrumite War and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, I do agree with what you said. I don't know, just the execution, like I don't know. It was just something about him and Mark fighting. I didn't really grasp to. Like, I liked more of the flashback scenes of him and the different universes.
No, for sure.
The cool cameos that they had. I like that part more than like, I don't know. It was just
I think
something about the execution there. I just really didn't like.
The weak part about it was that he literally says something about like how because he's been in all these universes, he's physically matchable to Mark.
Yeah, like,
And
That's
when he-
that was my.
That's probably the only
problem.
thing that like is like that's the letdown about it is that okay, he's a physical match to Mark according to what he says because he's took all these minds and he's been to all these different universes, but it's never shown. Mark dominates him, and I mean maybe that's just a show of strength, and maybe he thought he was Invincible equal, but Invincible, like you said, I thought you were stronger.
Yeah.
And he tears him apart. So you know what I'm saying. That's probably the biggest letdown too, is that when, you know, obviously when he's throwing him through portals and you're seeing all this stuff and that's how he's fighting him, that's one thing. It's cool to see that. But when you actually get one-on-one with Angstrom and you destroy him immediately, then it's kind of like, damn, You know,
That's,
especially after
but
talking
that
about
was that was my thing. I was always playing both sides of the coin because I thought the first half was heat. I thought the first 25 minutes was perfect. I thought their fight was good up until the point that it was. But I find some anticlimactic issues with just getting set through portals,
Right.
and not fighting any real battles in there. And we don't see nothing really happen in those portals. I thought we were going to get more of Mark being worn down and starting to go crazy because he can't find his way back home, and he keeps finding other reasons, and like there was some comedy in it. Like it's like, oh, you're bad, but you're also a man, or you dress as a bad, and you're also a man, so your name is.
Yeah, I feel like they skip over that.
They had cool teases in there, and we go through the multiverse and stuff, and that's eventually setting up for like stuff past the Viltrumite War, obviously.
Right.
But I don't like the fact, as you said, until he broke Debbie's arm, I'm just like, what are we about to see from him? He's gonna keep sending through portals. This is boring. This is stupid. And I'm waiting for the anticipation. And then after that, it's just like, damn, I thought we were gonna get a little bit more of him with that conflict. That, oh my god, I killed somebody, and it's like it's more like him moping instead of him. I thought he was gonna be stuck in that universe. I thought he was going to be moping. I thought he was going to start going crazy. And I thought he was going to have to remake his suit, and he was going to come out, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I thought we were going to get seeds of that. And then once he immediately gets pulled out by, again, a random Guardians of the Globe, even though they seen it happen 20 years ago, it's still random because he has no connection to them. Right. Even though they know Mark is not the Mark that they know, I feel like it still should have been a little bit more confusion. I thought they would have attacked him because he was so evil with Omni-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it would be a little bit more of that. Them going away from that, it just made it just like, all right. So we went through this 25-minute fight, and they did this almost in the season finale of season 1. They go through this big fight, and then they just mellow you out and get all the emotions drawn out. It was a lot of emotion stuff especially with Debbie trying to protect a kid that's not hers. That was powerful. We got Angstrom and his family and seeing it get torn away. That's a powerful moment. We get Mark killing somebody and going through like, oh, I had to do it. But it's like he going through the doubt of it. That's very powerful. But when you get like the execution, as Demond said, it could have been so much better. For a season I thought was flawless. Right. The season finale does fall slightly flat because of, okay, the last 25 minutes, we're still on Mark's story. Right. And we got no real wrap up from all the stuff that we went through with Donald. I mean, I know Donald talked Rick out of killing himself, but why didn't we, like, what's the overall ending arc for Donald? Right. We got to wait till 2025, probably till episode 3 to see him do something. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on. I thought it would have wrapped up a little bit more. And you know, it was obviously a lot of good stuff. Dialogue in terms of fighting, in terms of all that, flawless, as they always do. They always do great. But the execution, like you said, it does fall a little flat.
Yeah, it does fall a little flat. And we got like a duplicate appearance.
I was
her, but it's like
and we just had your whole funeral.
Like,
I didn't hate that just because I feel like you had to do something with Immortal. Yeah. You weren't going to bring him back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Immortal's important to the show at this point
he's
anymore.
Not.
You know
what
I'm saying? So, I mean, at least give him something. I mean, he snapped because of losing her. So, like, you know, and it makes sense because she's always talked about, like, her fear of dying with his fear of dying kind of makes sense. Why would you be putting your real self out there? If you're that scared of dying and you've seen it that many times, I mean, yeah, it kind of comes out of left field, of course, you know what I'm saying? But it does make sense that she would hide her real self this whole time.
Yeah, that's what it comes out of nowhere because, like, it's not we didn't care about Immortal's story. It's just like they could have built that up a little bit more. Him like really feeling sad and like missing something. Yeah. And as soon as he feel like he has to go back out into the field, then Kate comes. Yeah. Then instead he gets that closure. Instead of just like, oh, I just went fishing, got my fish, turn around, Kate's there. And it's like, well, how long have you been out there?
Right. Especially after
2 days.
You just spiraled that whole last episode.
He was out there for it's been a little like 3 weeks probably from her funeral to that point. It's like there was no build for that. Like, why do we get closure for that? Right. But we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't get close for all the other stuff that we kind of went through. And I was like, I look back on like the first half of the season 2, which was definitely better than the second half to me in general. But we had a lot to do with Debbie trying to recover. And I feel like that gets glossed over because she gets the kid thrown in her face. Yeah. And I still feel like she hasn't recovered. And now she's definitely going to be very, very emotionally unstable and physically unwell because she's got her arm broken out of her whole entire skin, like a compound fracture of her arm. You don't ever really see stuff like that. Right. And the fact that happened to her, I was like, all right, is she ever going to recover from losing Omni-Man? And then obviously we get the NTs. We'll wait for that, obviously. But we get the NTs of Omni-Man. It's like, why are we not wrapping up the stories that we love so much from that first half of the season? Like, why do we have to go and we went so hard for this Mark wrap up, and it was like, damn, we still didn't wrap up because we opened up another can of worms with him and Adam Eve now, and then him killing somebody. And I was saying, like, it's a lot of open can of worms when it's like we could have wrapped up a lot more with that little, that little episodes 5 to 7, and I was gonna also say that the Viltrumites not coming back again, and like how much time has passed from him and Anissa's fight to the moment the house gets rebuilt.
Yeah, I do kind of wonder if they don't really give you an exact time as far like how that is. Like, I don't know if they're waiting to kill Omni-Man first, or
that's what I'm saying. Like, how long are we gonna be interrogating this man? Like,
well, I know they said they can't kill him until he's fully healed.
But beating his ass every day, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Well, they said he could be bruised. He could be bruised.
But you brought up the Guardians of the Globe, like the different ones coming in and bringing Mark back. That was only to push like Adam, Eve, and Mark, but we already knew they gonna end up being together. So it's like you really didn't wrap up. You didn't really wrap up nothing with Mark. It felt like nothing on Earth got like finished. Like none of the arcs in the on Earth got finished. Like, so I don't know, man. Season 3, like I said, that was really like a tease for season 3.
That's why I wanted you guys to talk mostly, just because, like I said, I know that was a big attack in the comments of the TikTok post, was that you guys just haven't read the comics.
Yeah,
and as somebody that read the comics, that's why I wanted to hear your guys' opinions.
Some of it has got spoiled for me. So like I gotta understand it, like what's happening, but like I didn't read all of it, like, and they're changing shit. So I really don't know what's gonna happen in season 3. Like I can only predict.
Season 3 is where as far as like where the comics go, it's like where the show picks up. Like, I mean, obviously the first 2 seasons have been good, but I'm talking about like as far as like it doesn't slow down once, like in the season 3, the way the comics, like this is where we see, like, obviously you see Mark lose his suit at the end of season. Like that was a big thing that people didn't like about this finale. It was like, you make us wait this whole time. You give us the blue and black logo,
and we even got him sitting in the shadow with like black eyes. You got the suit is black, and it's like maybe we just get a teaser of him in another universe in that suit. Yeah, and we see him from the like behind, and it's like, all right.
And that's why I was kind of shocked because in the comics they literally show him. So like obviously they showed the multiple Marks killing all the different angstroms. In the comics they do show that suit in multiple ones. I think they purposely avoided it in all the flashes in this episode because they want you to have the big build up when he does get that suit, because in the comics, the way they make it is like as soon as he gets that suit, that's when like Mark completely changes. Like Mark is not a weak character anymore once he gets that suit. He's just on timing the entire rest of the show, or the rest of the storyline, I should say.
Yeah. So when like when you say you want us to talk about like things that we didn't hear from the comics, so a lot of people are saying that like Mark is going to turn into something like Omni-Man. Like that's what the main comic that I was talking back and forth with was. And it's like, all right, first of all we're digesting what we see on screen, so we can't just be like, well, for sure he's gonna turn to Omni-Man. It's like, well, my point was that I already brought it up. If we have him sit in that universe a little bit longer, even if it's a week or 2 weeks, he comes back and he sees his house is destroyed. He doesn't know where his mom is at. He doesn't know what happened. He doesn't know he knows her arm is broke, but he doesn't know what happened with anything. Obviously, he hasn't talked to his mom in so long. He doesn't have any real closure. The fact that happens so fast, I feel like is fine. Like if that fight happens in episode 7 and we get the journey until episode 8 to him coming back home, all right, then it's something different. But when we get it in the season finale, obviously now we have to wait.
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of glossed over it, because I feel like there is a time jump, but they don't. That's what Invincible sucks with, is that they don't tell you. I don't think he was only in that universe for a couple of days. I do feel like he was there longer, but it's like they don't tell you.
That's I wish they told us.
Because Mark kind of alludes to it that he like is lost in time, going through these portals. He doesn't know how long he's been gone from his mom and Oliver. Like, he's like, but they don't explore it enough. He just mentions it. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, I know I've been gone for a while. These portals are driving me crazy. I don't have any consciousness as to where I'm at, what time has gone by. But you should explore that more. Yeah. If this is something that if you don't know how, like, shouldn't you be a little bit more worried if you aren't on your own home planet? Yeah. And and you're consciously aware that you've been gone a longer time. Yes. You should explore it more, and that's really just what it is.
He should have been trying his best to, like, I thought he was going to start picking at Angstrom's body. He mentioned maybe something on Angstrom's body, and then the guys will come out. Like, didn't expect them to come out. Didn't know what was in that portal. I thought it could have been anything besides that. I thought it literally could have been anything. With them coming out, I'm like, all right. But in the last time we seen them do this multiverse stuff with Mark, what happened? He starts killing all the Guardians of the Globe with his father. So my assumption is
Yeah, so
they
that-
got beef.
Yeah.
It seems like that was like the only other universe where he doesn't go bad then though, because she talks about how because why would she care about Mark's love story unless that was before he turns? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because
Maybe or maybe
obviously-
she never told him, and she wished she told him, which would have changed
change
the
something
course of
because
his
that's one
history.
thing they never really explored with those older with the older versions. I forget because in the I know it happens in the comics. I just don't remember exactly how it's explained, but. That's like something they should go into. Is like, okay, so we obviously know in most universes Mark turns evil. In this one, they clearly cared about Mark if they went looking for another variant of him.
Yes.
So was it that they loved him so much before he turned, or
Was
it
it
that
Adam
he
Eve trying to
doesn't
do
turn?
it?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where they don't ever really. Obviously, you just don't get that elaboration, so you just don't know. I think like a lot of these, like the show had the ideas in there, but they just didn't explore them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
Which
reading
like
this-
which goes into sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Which goes into what you said though. It's the execution.
Yeah.
You can't bring.
I don't
up
want
the
no
idea-
hour and a half finale or nothing.
Yeah,
But
but if you bring up the ideas, at least delve into them a little
Yeah.
bit more. You could have cut something else or made something else shorter if it meant getting that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I was gonna say, I'm just reading these comments right now. A lot of people are saying that, like, it was underwhelming, anticlimactic.
That's all I was gonna say. Not every single comment was like a negative thing. Most of them
yeah,
agreed
it,
with
it was just that one thread that I
Yeah.
had with one
Yeah.
guy. The one dude said he respected it. He understood where I was coming
and,
from.
and then the guy commented multiple different times.
Yeah, the same thing, and I'm like, bro, I'm not like okay, you can say
I think that I feel like comic book readers just take too much offense when you don't read it.
Yeah, and it's like
not
that's
everybody's
fine.
a comic book reader.
Exactly,
man. Like,
exactly. It's
it
fine
just-
if I'm not, and it's
yeah,
fine
like-
if the person reviewing is not. The point we're trying to make is that what we seen on screen just now, in episode 8, was underwhelming to
Right.
the overall arc and story of season 2.
Exactly.
Is season 3 gonna be great? Are we gonna watch it? Absolutely. Are we gonna
Yeah,
do
it's
dive more
like,
deep
it's
into it?
like, I think
Absolutely.
when people take underwhelming as like a hatred.
Yeah.
Like you could still like it. and
I'm
think
sorry,
that
I hold him
Like,
at.
I
I just
like-
hold him to a high ass standard.
That's what I'm saying.
all it is.
I liked it. It just was
I was
underwhelming.
gonna say, I feel like they think that because you say underwhelming, it's like, oh, well, you guys didn't like it. Like,
It's
no,
like we're
that's
saying
not what
something's
anybody's-
overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think it's bad.
Like,
Another,
nothing-
another thing was the pacing too. I seen a comment about the pacing. The pacing of the episode was, it started off high and then it kind of
It's
boiled
just like
down.
the fucking dude. The comic pacing
Like,
is the
it
worst thing in the
just-
world. The comic pacing is absolutely dog shit.
It just,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It took me forever to read the first few comics. So I was like, bro, this shit's not going nowhere.
Yeah, so when I look at the whole, like I said, when I look at the whole season, like and like things I could criticize, it didn't come until this finale. It was not. I was gonna come in here like this is a flawless season because the first half of the finale, I'm like, this is great. Like you're doing a lot of character development. We're getting a lot from Engstrom. I thought he was a great voice actor. Speaking of voice acting, Stephen Ewan is one of the greatest voice actors in the industry right now. He was doing great work, and like when he was talking about like don't ever threaten my family, like that scene in general, or like them trading barbs like against each other
Him and
was
Sterling
great.
K. Brown definitely stood
They
out.
went
for the voice acting.
crazy, and I was like, all
Which
right.
I didn't know Sterling K. Brown was Angstrom.
But and that's where I was about to say. I was like, "Damn, you just killed off Sterling K. Brown as a he killed it every time he was on.
Not the first time I
well,
seen
every
Superhero
time he was
movies killed
on
off a good
screen.
voice actor.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just annoying because, like I said, when you lose a voice like that, you don't have to necessarily lose a voice like that. You can still use Engstrom Levi, obviously, in like in any sense. But I just don't like how in this season finale, like the pacing is that bad where at the end I'm kind of like, are we gonna get something huge at the end? Because I read the comments like, oh, that cliffhanger at the end. That cliffhanger at the end did nothing for me personally. I didn't think it was that great. I didn't think it was something crazy. And it was the back and forth between Alan and Omni-Man. And I thought it was cool that they could talk without obviously moving their mouth because they've talked before. They've had interaction before.
That telepathic.
And I thought that
Alan
I was really hoping, and I was like, I don't want them to have multiple fights going on, but I was really hoping at some point Alan would be like, he's like, the plan worked, and then when they get together, he'd break off his chains,
right?
And they'd start fighting.
I think
and
that's
then,
exactly how season 3
and
started.
then you get into like, all right, like Omni-Man's still down. Like, why are you down? It's like, well, I accepted my fate until you came here, but now I think about it, I miss my wife.
Yeah.
Boom, you end it like that. Because like, even though he got a chance to break free, he doesn't care about being free. He cares about being with his wife.
Right.
There's a difference between being free and being where you want to be.
I see, like, I definitely see where you're coming. I think it was a cool scene just because you do finally see that Omni-Man does have empathy. This whole
And
time
he's not
he plays,
redeemable.
he does play this whole time is that he's committed fully to Viltrum. He acts like he has that, that conflict. Obviously, you've seen it even when he flies away from Mark and he goes off into space forever until he meets the bug race. But it's like,
Thraxans.
the Thraxans. And like I said, it's super cool to like get that thing now where you see like he is redeemable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what he's done, I get that he feels bad for what he did to Earth. He feels bad for what he did to Debbie and what he did to Mark. Like, that's cool. Obviously, should you have ended it on just I miss my wife? Could you have done a little bit more?
Yeah.
Sure. I know that was like a great line from, like I said, the comics. understandable, but you could have stretched it out more, shown a little bit more if you wanted to drop that line.
Yeah.
Instead of going like, Invincible always has that thing where like they put a good line and then they cut to black, and then that's like what you get left with. But did you want to end on Omni-Man or did you want to end on Mark?
Yeah, and then that's where I was gonna go into a thing where like
I almost would have rather it
how much like
Mark and Adam Eve.
That's what I was about to say. If you flop those two,
yeah.
But also I was gonna say like how bad do we miss Omni-Man this season? Like not a lot. So if you ended the season with him, then you almost have to. This is the back-to-back times you end the season with him, doing something I guess big enough or saying something big enough, like his whole like rage and that Mark thing. And I was like, I miss my wife thing is like. If you're gonna just nitpick where you put him and put him in like what 5% of the show because he wasn't in at all, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have him at the end of it. Like I said, it has to open with them fighting off.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like that's how you have to start season 3 now. It's like you have to immediately get into Omni-Man and Alan's thing because obviously Alan is trying to turn Omni-Man against the Viltrumites, and it seems like Omni-Man's on that path. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Because him and Craig obviously have a conflict, and I want them to dive deeper, and I want them to do flashbacks more for next season because I feel like we need more of Omni-Man's descent from the Viltrum Empire. I'm sorry, and being like just being content with being with his wife because he was content with his wife. He was okay with it until Mark got his powers, and he realized that I have to make my son strong enough because if they come for me, he can defend his mother. Yeah. Realistically, that was the main goal. Did he go about the wrong way? Absolutely. Is he redeemable? Yes. Now, do we like redeemable villains? No, we don't like redeemable villains, but they did it in a perfect way. He's still not forgiven by Debbie, so we still don't.
We don't even know if he will be redeemed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't have to forgive him.
I said that in the video. I don't even think he goes to Earth. I just think the fact that he wants to see his family again and fight for his family again is what's going to make him like want to break out the prison. I don't think he's going to touch Earth again. Right. That's just tough. Like, and at that point, it's damn near unbelievable. Like, I mean, I know nobody could stop him on Earth from going there, but like,
and it's not like they can't track if something's coming. But although it does seem like every single time something comes to Earth, they can't tell what it is.
Yeah, they just have no experience at all with Omni-Man and the Guardians.
Because even when Anissa came, they didn't know what it was. Like they thought Alan was something. Like I mean, it just says that there's something coming for Earth. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, Omni-Man could come if he didn't wear like maybe his bright red suit. Or something like
some
that.
regular. No. He gonna come in with the fucking Viltrumite shit.
That's even worse.
Like, that's horrible. But I'm reading this comment.
That's all I had.
You know what I'm saying? I'm reading this comment. It says episode was mad good. It's just the cliffhanger at the end edged me too hard. So clearly, we might be the only ones that don't like the ending.
That's not got done. I'm cool with them doing
it. What it is exactly what I said. I said that I don't think people expected it to end on Omni-Man. I think people either wanted the Adam Eve and Mark to get together, or they were expecting Mark's suit. I'm telling you, like those are the two things where I feel like people were expecting to see the black and blue suit because of the title card, or they were expecting to see Adam Eve and Mark get together. We already know, as Dwan said, that Adam Eve and Mark end up together. They didn't need to force that in at the end.
They forced it bad in that other universe.
Mark was literally just spying on his ex-girlfriend and flew away before she could see him. He literally watched her from space. Why would he automatically just get with Adam Eve, even if they have feelings for each other? He's not gonna rush right in to be with Adam Eve just because of that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I would be more mad to see that get pushed in at the end of season 2, episode 8. Is it cool that the older Adam Eve referenced that because they need to end up together for whatever reason? Sure. Yeah. But they didn't need to force it in by showing Mark immediately coming back to his Earth and being like, "Oh, Adam Eve, I'm in love with you."
I said that in the video.
Like
too,
you immediately grab her hand, and it's like,
yeah,
I'm
like
not to cut you off, but it's like you immediately grab her hand. It's like build up to that. Yeah, like you should be like, is there something you want to tell me? Yeah, that's what you like. Is there something you want to tell me? And then you can end on that because now it's like, all right.
And that's why I'm happy that he at least moved his hand. Like you don't have to go right into that. Like, okay, now you see that maybe you are realizing that you do care about her more than what you think. Cool. Yeah. But I'm glad they didn't automatically be like, "Oh, Adam Eve, I have something to tell you."
I thought you were about to start fucking kissing.
Right.
Please don't start fucking
kissing.
Like you just was spying your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. I liked it better that they just supported each other as friends. To me, that's a better ending for them right now.
For now, yeah. And I think even through season 3, they should fight together more and realize that
that they care about each other. It shouldn't just be something that automatically comes together. Like if they get together by the middle of season 3, cool. Yeah, that's fine. But it didn't need to be put at the end of that, and that's why I'm glad. Like
2026, you know what I'm saying? But I said that in the video though. I'm like, you know what? As Matt, like everybody be like, okay, we won't Adam, Eve, and Mark together. But it's like, bro, my man just went through mad shit. Like,
yeah, like come on,
just
like
went through a breakup.
Like you do not want him to be with her right now.
Killed somebody, got his ass beat the episode prior. Like it's a lot of shit going on with him. So I wasn't shocked. Like, but at the end of the day, man, we know they're gonna end up getting together. It's just a matter of when, how they execute it. They're executing it good so far. They're gonna build it up. Now, depending on when they get together in season 3, we all know that like I didn't read the comics, but I don't think Adam Eve is going to fucking space fighting with Mark against the Viltrumites. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't think he wants her to. I think that's something
I
he would talk her out of.
I don't know if she do or not. But I mean, we already know he's gonna try to battle with the Earth shit, the Viltrumite shit, and what's going on with.
I think I think that's pretty much gonna be his storyline next season. I don't see him being on Earth too much. It's gonna be more so if the way I'm thinking about it and the way that it goes in the comics, he doesn't deal with Earth much more, like much longer.
Yeah, and but I have two things about Adam Eve. One, they went away from her story too, with her having a conflict of like if she's really a hero, she really helping people or not. I'm fine with them going away from it, but she did very little when she came back. So it's like you came back for what? You didn't come back for no.
Just doing exactly what they do.
Chilling the last
yeah, she was
episode.
chilling very, 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 very crazy. I ain't gonna lie, she was doing very little to nothing. Second, robot being Rex. That was very funny because I thought that was gonna be his voice.
Right.
We had I was like, oh, that's definitely not the robot we know, and I thought he was gonna have his voice actor.
It's a pretty cool like reveal to see that like Rex becomes a robot now. Because like where the hell's robot?
And my boy Spectacular Spider-Man popped up like.
Yeah, no, I said like
season.
There was a lot of really cool callbacks, and a lot of really cool like Easter eggs in this episode. Like some stuff like the Fortnite sniper rifle is hilarious to me. Dude came out with the Fortnite sniper rifle, bro. Like what are you doing?
And they gotta make that money. You gotta return on investment though. Cause like Fortnite, we put Invincible in here 2 years ago. Y'all owe us, motherfucker. Y'all owe us something. Bro. But
no, but the Adam Eve thing, you make a good point. But I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about it because that happens to every woman superhero.
I'm cool with them. I'm cool with them going away from her. It's just like she chilled so crazy, she didn't come back and do much. And I thought like if she came back, it would be a bigger thing for her.
I almost kind of thought that it would be more of a scary thing for her because Rex got messed up.
Yeah, and I thought that was like I can't do that. Like I'm losing some people I care about.
Like, I don't know if I can be.
Yeah,
I mean, she kind of told Cecil that because Cecil like basically was begging her to join the Guardians of the Globe in the treehouse. Like I get that. Yeah. But like that was like the most we get about it.
Her last 3 episodes, she came to Earth. Rex got hurt. She cared for Rex. Then called Mark. Said that Rex was in trouble. Then steered to the finale. Last 2
type
minutes.
shit. Like
she
had a lot, and then we got the special for it. Like obviously last year was like. I'm really thinking she's gonna be a main part of the season. Like it didn't make sense for her to be after looking at the whole season.
When you drop a special about a character before the whole season drops.
Because that's the case. We about to get a special about Rex, and he's not gonna be appear until episode 4. So
that's what I'm saying. And what you said about if Mark is barely gonna be on Earth, like how much is Adam Eve gonna be in season 3? Like. Looking at her getting sidelined like that again. Season 3. So.
Well, but I think
where am I gonna be at? Like, is Bulletproof gonna come back?
I mean, he's clearly alive.
he makes it. He makes it.
I think that's something that but I think that's why the Adam Eve and Mark thing is gonna work out better is because that's Amber's whole thing this whole time was that she couldn't be with Mark because he's never there. He's always off saving the world, and she wants him to do that, but he can't be her boyfriend if he's never there. Adam Eve is a superhero. She gets that. She realizes that you can't always be around.
She can defend herself.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's one of those things where like, like obviously you make a good point. How much are we going to see Adam Eve if she's the love interest? But maybe that means she'll just be a bigger character on Earth. Because we'll need somebody on Earth. Yeah. If all the main characters in the story is going to be there, they're not going to just leave behind the Guardians of the Globe and whatever and not talk about them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Looking at, they teased, was it Kahor?
Yeah, the mummy.
So
the Pharaoh.
They teased Kahor. He's looking for a male host.
This is the second time now.
Yeah, he's looking for a male host. To support his body, so he can obviously do what he needs to do. He can't. He just doesn't want a woman. He obviously wants a man. Who is he gonna take over? Who the fuck knows? You know,
I wouldn't even be surprised if it's just like some random character.
Yeah,
I think this would just be like I said. I think this will just be an Earth storyline.
Yeah,
this is something where they have an Adam Eve, a Guardians of the Globe, to fight him. Yeah, they won't have Mark.
And now I say like, like I said, like, are we really like lacking a huge villain right now? Because the lack of Omni-Man presence was felt. Like obviously we looked for Omni-Man, and when he did pop up, it was a huge thing. And when he did pop up on screen, we were listening, we were paying attention. We are never probably gonna get a feeling that we had in season 1 of a villain because we're the personal connection, the emotional connection, all that. So with them going with multiple villains and multiple, I guess, controversies or like adversities even that the main characters could face, then I feel like that's a good thing, because if Mark is dealing with the Viltrum Empire with Alan, and then you got the Guardians of the Globe dealing with Cahor, and then you got even, you know what I'm saying, Donald dealing with Cecil still, because there's still things to be said and things to be.
I think that's going to be all the Earth stuff, like I said, like those villains, but if they bring in the Viltrumites that they need to in season 3, you'll see who the villains are.
I forgot his name.
There are two.
Huge.
It's Conquest and it's Thrag.
Thrag, yes, what it is.
Those are the main bad guys. I mean, Conquest isn't as important. Thrag is like considered like the main bad guy.
Yeah, I expect Thrag into season 3.
I say like I think if the Viltrumite war is going to start at some point in season 3, we'll get him. He's like the leader of the Viltrumites. He's the strongest Viltrumite.
Yeah.
So like he's going to be the main villain. Conquest is the one I'm most excited for, because when Anissa, I said it in the last episode, when Anissa comes, you said another one will come. She's talking about Conquest, and Conquest is like the first like major Viltrumite threat that Mark fights, like as a powerful like hero, and it's Conquest is like an insane character to me. Like I don't know how they're gonna portray, if they portray him the same way, and they get a good voice actor for him. Conquest might be like, I could see you guys like loving Conquest as a character. He's insane.
Well, as a spoiler, I loved every character this season. There was nobody I didn't love, and it was like, it sucks that we didn't get the best wrap ups for everybody. It's hard to wrap up for everybody. But another thing, a small thing, but y'all brought up Bulletproof, and Bulletproof challenged Black Samson and said like, we're not a good team. Yeah. So I thought they were gonna play on that.
I think that goes
a little bit. And for the finale, because I thought we would get a little bit more on Earth happening, or even just a scenario where anything's happening, and I would say I thought Bulletproof would eventually leave the group,
right?
Because he didn't believe in them as a team. Yep. But then when he comes back into obviously the multiverse they were, or whatever universe they were in, obviously he grows with them. Right. So
I said I could see that being something, like I said, because the Guardians of the Globe are completely distraught right now. Like Robot is back to being the leader, which is a horrible idea.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you got Robot, Squirrel, what's her name is
Squirrel. She about to be a fucking squirrel. She fucking about to be a baby in 2 episodes.
Monster Girl.
Squirrel Girl's from Marvel, by the way. Yeah, but like you got Monster Girl, Robot. I mean, that was a cool little thing. Like it's cool that she finally like tells Robot like, yo, stop being weird.
She could have been told him that though.
That's what I'm saying. Like
she was being weird about it, and then she was like, you could still find a way to make me not grow younger. I was like, so that's what I was trying to do the whole entire time. I was like, oh, maybe I don't have to put a chip in your head now, but that's my whole goal.
Right.
Was to protect you from the people that don't care about
I think that's what she was like. I feel like because she wanted him to be like, because everything about him was always like scientific. Like I'm gonna do what I did to myself basically to you, and she's not playing that. Like she already said it. Like could she have said it sooner instead of being weird towards him?
Yes, it would have been nice if she said it fucking episode 1.
Right.
Would have been nice.
Yeah, like the Guardians
after their first fucking date, yo, can you be normal?
That's why I feel like the Guardians right now are an interesting storyline, and that's why I feel like they will be the Earth one, because I mean you still have Oliver. You never know. I mean,
I expect him to be.
Yeah, Oliver's very clearly, obviously. I mean, I know, but he's very clearly powerful. He came away with no bumps or bruises or cuts or anything from the Angstrom Levi situation.
Yeah, it's funny when she caught him. Like, you don't have to catch that, man.
Yeah, like he's.
She dove like looking Super Bowl 52 game winner. She dove in front of and damn near across the whole room and catch him. I'm like, yo, relax, Debbie. Like
he's gonna be good. Like, I get it though, because like he is a baby in her mind, and obviously,
sweet, like whole body extended.
I don't even make them catches in Madden, so I was like, shout out Debbie though. You clearly could be a wide receiver 1 at the next level.
And they clearly talk about it too, because they were like, we don't even know when his Viltrumite powers are gonna form, and he's clearly already getting to that point because he's.
And Cecil already looks at him as a dollar sign.
Yeah,
he looks at him as like we could say the world with him.
Yeah,
he already. That's why he wanted him in his grasp, because he could train him now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can have him around the right people. Obviously, I do expect Oliver to get his way into the Guardians of the Globe and get his way with Cecil, obviously, but. What I also look at, like when you said like it's like they have a bad team right now, but like losing Immortal, the one shorty that
the one that can shrink. I always forget her name.
Shrink Ray, I think it's
Is it Shrink Ray? Okay,
that's what I'm saying. You got to think like, bro, they got Bulletproof, Black Samson, Robot, Rexplode, and the
Monster.
Monster Girl and Shape Smith.
I haven't seen him since the
They only said it when they called him weird.
Yep.
But Lex Anthony calls him weird. He was doing push-ups.
And like he was doing push-ups with his legs crossed.
Yeah.
Like what? In
so,
the air.
I mean, like obviously we know the Sequid threat is still there because they show that.
Yeah.
It gets the dude back again. So we'll see what happens with that. Like they are setting up the Earth storylines, so at least the Guardians of the Globe stay relevant.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you're gonna have to bring in Adam Eve. You're gonna have to see like Oliver. We're gonna need characters like that to keep Earth relevant for when our main character isn't there.
Yeah. It's tough. It is tough to make Earth fun or important.
Yeah,
when Invincible is not there.
Exactly.
They're going to do it 1 month.
That's why comic book stuff is so like weird, man. Like that's why like people when you make shows like this, like you have to make sacrifices at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like in a comic book, you can get away with that because you can read one page. Get back to the next page is that, and then go right back to the storyline. Yeah. In a TV show, when you got 45 minutes to 50 minutes, and you're doing it weekly,
you
know what I'm saying? You're gonna upset people no matter what, because in one episode you have to show what's going on Earth, and then everybody's waiting to see what the hell Mark and Nolan and Alan are doing, and they don't get that. Yeah, you know, so you're gonna make people mad regardless.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I was gonna say though, how long y'all think this time jump gonna be from season 2 to season 3? Because y'all bring up Oliver, and Oliver ages quick. Is it gonna be like 2 months, 3 months?
Yeah, I'd probably say less than a year. Probably like 6 months.
I was gonna say 6 months to a year. Yeah. I was gonna say.
I
would say
can't
6 months.
The thing is, what they confuse me a lot is, okay, you do a 5-month jump. Why didn't Alan and Nolan break out yet? Like the timing, like they don't. The timing shit was weird this year.
Because I think they're going to Viltrum. Like I don't think that ship is not. It's
not stationary.
Yeah. That ship is flying to Viltrum. Yeah. So I think it's just we don't know how far Viltrum is. They never tell us. Obviously, it took Mark days, and so Viltrum might be further than whatever Thraxia or whatever was from their ship. So I think that's Alan. That's obviously strong enough to take on Viltrumites.
Yeah, Nolan because it is definitely farther because Nolan was going to Viltrum.
That's what I'm saying. So it takes forever. Yeah, so we don't know exactly the time thing. So I think that might even be what it is. It's just the fact that he's trying to go to Viltrum, and they're gonna have to break out at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I expect 6 months to a year, only because like if they brought in the college thing, then I didn't expect much of a time jump. I thought if he would have returned to college, then I would have been like, all right, it's not gonna be a real big time jump. But now that he said like he can't, he has to learn how to control himself. Now he's focused solely on being invincible instead of being Mark Grayson, and that's what he didn't want. He didn't want that. Episode 6, his entire plan was to finally just take my earpiece out, take my suit off, and just be myself.
He was on his Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, and it's funny because his suit gets torn. This is the first time we see his suit get torn. He has to get a new suit. And they just don't spawn new suits. Omni-Man didn't spawn a new suit. He had to go get a new suit because it was covered in blood and he couldn't get it out. So now that his suit is ripped up,
I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty mad they didn't give us a suit at the end.
I do expect his suit to come in. I do expect it to come in quickly. If it doesn't, and we're waiting, and he's not fighting, or he's fighting in the same suit, then it's like, then it's like, what did we do that for?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm gonna tell you, it's just so dope. It's like the first costume, like it's cool and all, I guess. It's not though.
It's really not.
I don't like the colors. I'm sick of seeing it. I don't like the colors or anything like that. Like the dark blue and black suit is just so much cleaner. Man.
For on-screen viewers, we've been associated with this suit for 4 years now. Like it's time for something new. Obviously, like we do see the fan art and the mock arts.
That's why I like seeing all the different
suits.
That's why I like seeing all the variants of Mark.
Yeah,
and seeing like the slightly different color variations, or like how he was wearing black and yellow and the one with the cape, like to see like those different brown. That was the best looking one. That shit was the best looking one by a long shot.
Just and even the shot that he's towering over
them. Yeah,
like you're so beneath me that like I don't even have to move a muscle and you're shaking. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to see these eyes staring at you.
Right.
And he didn't turn around. He didn't want to turn around because he didn't want to see Mark. So I mean, it like when we talk about it in this sense, like obviously we're just being extra critical to a show that I still consider to be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
On Rotten Tomatoes this season got 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not we're trying to find something wrong with the show. It's like we're just slightly critiquing it in certain ways, obviously like
it's nitpicking.
And previewing and reviewing.
Because you should expect quality from a show that you like.
And y'all start adding fucking ads. Then yes, I expect 11 out of 10 now. Yeah, because I have the ad come in. It's Angstrom Levi throwing him through a portal and the ad come like find a way to position your ads in a better spot.
And it's an ad for a trash.
And it's not like I'm sure the ad guy ain't working at 4:00 in the morning.
Right.
He not working harder than Demond. You know what I'm saying? He not working harder than Demond.
Like, come on now.
So I mean, but I do believe that season 3 is going to be huge, and I do believe that reading the comics is important to understand everything. But when
it just doesn't have to be happen. Like that's why I just don't like it. Like I said, like I choose to read comics.
Yeah, but if you choose to read them, don't be the know-it-all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't like.
Oh, I know what's gonna happen. It's like, yes, you know what's gonna happen, but talk about what we just seen. Exactly. If you talk about what happened in the comics, then I can say MCU is gonna be saved. Right. You know what I'm saying? MCU is fine. I can say that. I can say DCU, that's fine. Like I said, I know what the comics say.
That's exactly how I feel.
The comics is not a direct representation always, and it's not gonna be always gonna be like.
It's not gonna always be 1-to-1.
Yeah, it's never gonna be.
And being the know-it-all, like I said, it's never cool to do that. Like if I choose to take time out of my day to read the comics, that's great.
Yeah,
it's cool. I know that, but don't be the you guys wouldn't get it because you didn't read the comics.
Yeah, and then you don't explain it. And you keep saying just read the comics.
Yeah, like no, and I can't just afford to pick up the comics and read them all.
Yeah, read all of them just to get to what I'm assuming is gonna happen in season 3.
Right.
You're assuming this is gonna happen in season 3 based off season 2. Why? Because you see what happened on screen, and then you take what you already read and you put those two together. I'm gonna take what I seen on screen, predict what I seen on screen to predict season 3 because I feel like there's more fun in that. There's more, I guess, hype in general for the casual fan that just turns on events and wants to watch the show.
That's why I just make the references. Like I'm never gonna spoil anything or say anything about it. I make the reference that I know certain information if you guys have questions about it, but I'm never gonna be like, oh, well, I read it. So
you're not an NPC.
This.
You're not an NPC. Yeah, you're a real person. Yeah, you have blood flowing through your body.
Like I said, I'm not gonna spoil it just because of the fact that I know it or say that you guys don't understand. That's why I said that's why I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on it as viewers. Obviously, you said you had it spoiled for you some of it.
Yeah, some of it.
But like I said, like I wanted to hear it as viewers. You guys watch the TV show and you love the TV show. So it's good to hear that point of view instead of having somebody shove in your face that I read the comics, so you're wrong.
Yeah,
like what's the point of watching the show then? Like,
I said, if that's the case, don't turn on the show.
Like,
if you know everything, what's the point of watching the show? You might not have
to.
Just don't watch it. Just don't watch it. Just close your eyes. Close your eyes, and you can visual the entire season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before even the director, the producer, the voice actors know what they're about to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way that I could pick up a comic and say, all right, everything's going to be all right. Like, no, I have to take what I see on screen and be like, all right, dissect from point A to point B because the comics is way easier to pump out comics than there is to pump out a 10 out of 10 show, which they have done back to back seasons
for sure.
That's an incredible bar to set, and it's crazy because we know it's only going to get better.
And I was very scared when they were to see the adaptation of the I Thought You Were Stronger scene because in the comic it is like insane to get to that point and to read that and the way it's illustrated and all that. I didn't expect them to do it as well as they did in the show. I mean, Stephen Yeun nailed it. The animation team nailed it. I mean, because in the comics it's gruesome. I mean, it's exactly how it is in the show. He's completely covered in blood and he completely loses his mind over the whole situation. So to see that adapted as perfectly as they did in the show, I had no complaints. Like I said, that was awesome to see that. Shout out to them for trying to keep it as 1-to-1 as possible when they get to the big moments, at least.
Yeah, that's what I was like. When the big moments happen and you want it to be comically accurate, they kill it every time. And as people say, nobody is like, "Oh, this didn't happen in the comics." Like they are on this is on par with it. So
I know I was very scared to see that. Like I was very scared that like they were gonna mess that up or they weren't gonna go as hard for it as they should have done it. That's a big moment for the character of Invincible. Yeah, so you have to nail that. You know what I'm saying?
It's not easy to do all the time.
No,
it's not easy to have this like.
And not everything goes to animation or TV as well as it does in a comic.
Yeah,
you know that's another thing too. Like that's why like when you compare, it's hard to compare source materials or not source materials. To compare mediums, I should say. You could get away with stuff in a comic that you can't get away with a TV show, and vice versa.
Yeah. It's very possible, and that's why it's hard for. Like I said, why would I read an MCU or why would I watch an MCU show or a movie and try to compare it to a comic? The comic is on paper. This is real people. They got a 55-year-old man playing this character. I don't expect him to do something that a comic book ageless person just did. Like I'm saying, like we can't compare.
That's why the MCU is always different. The MCU does not copy 1-to-1.
Yeah, you shouldn't always copy 1-to-1. It just makes it more unpredictable for the viewers. That like I say, you can call us casual viewers because I would assume we are casual viewers to people that read the comics and watch the show and dedicate 365 days to this. Because there are people that do dedicate a lot of time to this. I say if we want to dissect every single episode, obviously we get a lot of content out of that. But from like week to week basis, we can't cover the entire nitpick every single scene and go through all that.
You got to be fully committed to that kind of content.
So I would assume that like to the people like that want to read the comics, we want to be captivated. We want to see it on screen. Him breaking Debbie's arm, I was like, oh shit! Like I want to know that didn't happen. I like to know that didn't happen.
It's good to have that surprise.
That's the good in not reading the comics. I mean, but you also could get that same captivation if you're really, really, really indulged in the content that they're giving you.
Right.
But it is what it is with the whole comic and I guess animation, not the live action for this. But anything else you guys want to add on season 2 or Invincible in general?
Batman.
It
was cool to get the Batman cameo. I'm not
very cool. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it when he went to go see Spider-Man, or he was sent to. He seen Spider-Man. I was like, all right. I did expect them to talk about it because he wasn't a poster.
People are funny though because it's like they were like, I can't believe people actually thought that Spider-Man himself was going to show up. Like, you think Sony was going to let them do that?
No.
Like, come the hell on. Sony doesn't even let Spider-Man show up in their own movies. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen Spider-Man in a Venom movie, so why would he show up in Invincible? Like, come the hell on. Like, it was cool to get like Arachnid and Professor Ock. Like, that's cool because you know what the hell they're talking about. You know what's going on, and you get Josh Keaton, obviously, who voiced Spectacular Spider-Man. That's all you needed to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? Between that and the kind of like the, I don't want to call it Walking Dead reference, but the undead like world or whatever.
I only said that because they do reference. I think the writers are the same.
Robert Kirkman made The Walking Dead. I didn't want to call it that.
And Stephen Ewan also Walking Dead. So that's why I didn't say like it was like it's just zombies or like you know what I'm saying, like
it makes sense. Well,
it does feel like that.
That's why it makes sense. Like I said, it does feel like a Walking Dead callback. Like I said, Robert Kirkman wrote both, and even in the Walking Dead show, there was Invincible action figures at a point in the show. So you know what I'm saying. So it's cool to kind of see that connection. And then, like I said, the Batman one to me was the Spider-Man one obviously was a little more out there, but the Batman one was just funny. Yeah, because
they don't give him no lines.
Invincible even had a hard time making his own name, so that's funny that Batman settled for Batman because he's a man that dresses like a bat.
Yeah,
Invincible couldn't even think of a name for a while, so it's cool to get that.
And then also, obviously, I know a lot of people are more mad about the suit, and I'm pretty sure you got mad that you didn't see the suit after you seen the title card.
Yeah, well, that's what I assumed by the end of the episode that he would have the suit.
Yeah, once it did, I was like, all right, we're getting the suit. Yeah. That's literally what I sounded like. We're getting the suit.
I knew that was coming at some point because obviously the first title card is black and red, and then it breaks away and you start to see the blue, and you're like, okay, I see what they're going for.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, maybe that'll be like the end of the season thing. Like, okay, they're gonna leave off with him getting the suit. Can I wait? Sure. But would it have been cool to
2026?
No. Yeah. So would it would have been cool to have him to at least have, even if he didn't have it on, to see it made or be on the mannequin or something like that, made by the dude that he goes to. That would have been just cool for me. But it's okay. I won't destroy them for that.
Yeah, I guess I gotta read comics.
You do.
Yeah, if you want to see him in that black and blue suit. Yeah. I got nothing else to add though. I mean, I've seen all type of dates. I'm just gonna assume 2025.
I'm gonna say end of 2025.
I do not see this coming
out.
When did somebody try to say 2024? I think IDMB.
When did this call? When did this drop? November 2024.
It dropped in November, but Stephen Ewan and them said they've been working on season 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So this came out last November. I would say November of next year.
Yeah, I would say,
or even summer next year.
Which I'm cool with.
If they've already been working on it, and like that means that they've at least put the time into it to start it, then I could see. It won't be a 3-year gap again. There's no.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be.
I could see like end of 2025. It might drop before Spider-Man does.
It could. But yeah, season 3 definitely. We're obviously tempering expectations when it comes out, but expectation wise for content, we're expecting obviously to maintain.
Exactly.
But again, to our final segment, WrestleMania weekend is this weekend. Huge star-studded card in Philadelphia.
What's in Philly this year?
Yeah, it's in Philly this year.
Was that Lincoln Financial?
I think.
Well, can they even close Lincoln Financial?
Is it Lincoln Financial?
It's supposed to be like 50s.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think it holds 70,000.
I was gonna say Lincoln Financial holds like 70 plus.
Yeah, they think they said 70,000. Last year we were in. They did the Hollywood thing, and it's like if you flip flop these, it was like that makes sense for this one to be that one, and obviously, but we got the return of The Rock. His first match in, I want to say, 11 years.
2013, 2014.
That's why his real match. They're saying 8 because they're saying, are they counting the Eric Rowan match?
They must have. Yeah.
They got to be counting Eric Rowan match.
No, didn't he do a tag team match? It was him and Ronda Rousey versus.
Nah, he did in ring work with Ronda, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon. That was at 31.
Yeah, what was the legacy John Cena?
That was 30, so it was like it was even before that.
Jesus.
But we got the return of The Rock. He's teaming with Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Damon, I'll start with you. Any predictions for, I would say, both the matches? You can talk about Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes as well for the Universal title.
I got The Rock and Roman Reigns winning night 1, and I got my Tribal Chief winning night 2.
My Tribal Chief.
You ain't put no ones up, so I'm assuming that's not really your Tribal Chief.
Come on, bro.
But
the documentary ain't come out. You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta put and I start putting two together. Cody Rhodes is on Raw. Seth Rollins is on Raw. You gonna have two of the top champions on Raw.
But this before you even say that, they haven't. I don't think they've done a draft with Triple H under as in control. I do believe they'll be doing a draft before Money in the Bank. I would say before Money in the Bank happens. Mm-hmm. They should. It's hard to keep with these fresh matchups with these long title reigns because I do think in another feud, I do think Rhea Ripley is retaining. So it's like if you keep Rhea Ripley on Raw, the only person left is Liv Morgan. You got everybody on SmackDown. You kind of have to start, I guess, mixing and matching, obviously different matches and whatnot. But this is where I start thinking about the Netflix thing. Do you want Cody Rhodes to bring in Netflix as a champion? Do you want Roman Reigns to bring in Netflix as champion? Are we moving Roman Reigns to Raw? What are we doing for that first episode or even just that first year of Netflix on Raw? Cody it's Rhodes. Like you do. It's like you feel like I feel like you need a baby face. Yeah. You need somebody marketable. And I'm not saying Roman Reigns is not. Obviously he is, but you have the baby face. You got the company guy in the suit. You know what I'm saying? Doing all the interviews. Mm-hmm. I feel like you have to have Cody Rhodes bringing in that first year.
Yeah, if you're gonna do, especially with the way that they're kind of rebranding themselves again, they're going back to the older style of wrestling.
Yeah,
with the blood
like if you really want, you could dial it in with Cody coming in, obviously as a baby face, but obviously people are speculating so much stuff in his match, so much stuff from Rikishi to Alpha and Sika to.
Rikishi was fucking crazy.
We got literally everybody. I mean, obviously the Usos are gonna get involved. We got Solo Sikoa. We got. I'm assuming Rollins does get involved in the night 2 main event as well, depending on the result of his match, which is obviously very important. Mm-hmm. And a lot of injuries early on, obviously in January, because it was supposed to be CM Punk and Seth Rollins. So imagine if CM Punk never got hurt. This match would not be happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't have a second guy. But there's so much speculation in this match in general. I expect this to be 2 hours long. Like, this match alone to be 2 hours long. And this is the only reason I say that. There is 6 matches on night 2. You got Bobby Lashley Street Profits versus the Final Testament. Nobody cares about that. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Nobody cares about that. Yeah. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Nobody cares about that. I can see it going like 12, 15 minutes. Io Sky versus Bayley. Not that much hype around that. Then you got Seth Rollins versus Drew with CM Punk at ringside. That might get about 30 minutes. And then Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. So you got a very, very short night 2 compared to night 1 that has a 6-pack ladder match. Mm-hmm. You got a Gunther match, always goes about 25 minutes. You got Rhea versus Becky, who's probably going to get about 25 minutes. You got 2 tag team matches. I mean, there is more to unpack here with that's going to set up night 2. My main prediction is throughout the night. I think you start off night 1. You either started off with Jimmy and Jay.
I heard Rhea Ripley and Becky.
Becky and Rhea. You have to have a huge opener. Only reason I would have it Jimmy and Jay because I do think Jimmy should win. He hasn't won a match in forever. The reason I think Jimmy should win because if Jimmy wins, the last visual should be him offering Jay a spot back in the bloodline. It's like the family could be all together if you come back into the bloodline tonight. You have to do it tonight though. You can't wait till tomorrow night. So you plant the seed of Jimmy winning. Jay, he hasn't won anything. He hasn't won much anything since he's left the bloodline. Obviously, the tag run with Cody Rhodes. Then you have the tag match. Jay comes out, but he doesn't do anything. He comes out, but he doesn't do anything. And The Rock Roman still win. Roman Reigns and Jay have that stare down. Jimmy still is scared of Roman. He still had that timidness to him. And he walks like not with them, but they walk up the ramp. He walks up the ramp with it. He doesn't go check on Cody and Seth. He doesn't go back to him. And then on night 2, you get either, well, what will Jay do? What will The Rock do? Is he gonna turn on Roman? Why would he turn on Roman after they won? Et cetera, et cetera. I do think overall though that this is a story that needs to wrap up the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes part of it, because The Rock and Cody Rhodes is like here, and Roman and Cody is down here.
Yeah.
The Rock is the biggest star ever right now. Him focusing on WWE is the biggest thing they could have possibly imagined. The fact that he's done more Raw and SmackDowns combined than I think Roman has
this year.
Even I said like this year in general, because he has been champion this entire time. And it's just crazy to see that The Rock is back on our screen, and he took bumps on Monday. He's bouncing off the announce table. He's taking punches. He's actually doing some action, so he's slowly getting into it. But I do think that this match, or these 2 matches, we're going to see the craziest possible interferences. We're going to see heel turns, double turns, all type of stuff. It's going to be huge. Obviously, for media-wise, it's going to be huge because you got The Rock on WWE TV once again. Back-to-back nights for WrestleMania 40. He's competed in, I think, a main event in the last 3 decades, or even 4 decades.
I think it's 4 decades.
He has 1999, 2000. He has one in, he has a one in 2013, and then now this one.
It's crazy to think about.
Crazy to think. Yeah, it is really crazy to think about. Nobody else has done that. And you got the biggest star of the company right now, Roman Reigns. You got the biggest babyface with Cody Rhodes.
I think
you got
Stone
the
Cold did that
workhorse.
too. Now that I think about it, if you count Kevin Owens and Stone Cold main event,
I don't think so. I don't think he got one in the 10s. He don't have one in the 10s. That was 2021.
He has some appearances, but
Yeah, I don't think no main event. So that's why I look at like if we can get Stone Cold and John Cena involved, this is gonna be the biggest segment in WWE history by a long shot. It's gonna be remembered forever. Obviously, is it gonna be a good match? Probably not. Is it gonna be a great segment? Definitely. We're gonna be talking about it forever. The amount of things that are gonna come from this match is gonna be huge. Obviously, I can't wait to watch the tag match more than the title match, only because The Rock is in it, and we do get. And it was crazy because they were in, I think it was Brooklyn this past Monday, and they were so loud for The Rock, and they were so loud for Roman. And when Seth Rollins called out The Rock, it's like, dude, you could do so much with The Rock for the next 2 years if he really wants to, and he can make so much money. And the fact that he's aligned with WWE through TKO and all that, it's the possibilities are endless. And the fact, like I said, they're going into Netflix. Netflix is gonna take this like up a notch, because we never seen Netflix host live TV at all. The fact that it's going to be weekly, like,
and you can get away with it
that's
more now
huge.
because it's not going to be on national television.
Yeah, no. So you about to be into a whole different style, because then this is what they wanted though. They wanted to be no strings attached. Like,
I think it's going to be
the network to give us all the freedom that we could possibly get.
Right.
They weren't getting that with Peacock. It's just unfortunate, but they just weren't getting that from Peacock. And when they were on their own W network, nobody bought into it enough for them to keep that steadily rolling. But any other predictions for any other matches?
I think
besides
Drew.
the big ones.
I think Drew beats Seth Rollins. I think I don't want to.
Don't say what I know. I know what you're gonna say. Don't say what
I
you.
just feel like it's possible. I'm gonna just throw some possibilities out there. Right? If Drew beats Seth, I don't see why he don't turn on Cody Rhodes at that rate. Like, you lost. You probably jealous. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have been fighting Cody instead. Maybe somebody cheats Seth Rollins. He probably feels some type of way. Causes Cody night too, right? But that's kind of far fetched. You got a Money in the Bank winner. I mean, you got mad unbeatable champions. I feel bad for him. Like, damn, like we gonna cash in
That's
on
what,
like.
dude. I think the shortest reign right now, I think, is Seth Rollins. I think, or if it's not Seth Rollins, it's Io Sky.
Like, come on, bro. I don't know who Damian Priest gonna cash in. I want to say a Damian Priest cash in, but like, you not gonna cash in on Roman. You got 8 motherfuckers with him. I mean, you could cash in on Cody, I guess, but
please, the God, no.
You think he gonna be the only one that like never
Somebody said
hold
that.
it
They was
down.
like, what if it just expires? And I was like, that would be the stupidest thing you could possibly do.
He's a heel, but like, I don't feel no like. If he really wanted to heal, he would turn on he would cash in
On Cody. Yeah.
But I don't feel like he's like the guy to do that. Like he don't have much heel heat to do that. Like he would get heel heat from it, but I just don't think he's the guy to do that. Like
from the jump, they made a mistake by putting the briefcase on him.
Like Judgment,
it shouldn't have been him. If anybody from Judgment Day, it should have been Dom Mysterio.
That's what I'm saying. Now if Dom did it,
in general, it should have been him in general.
That shit would fucking catapult him. Like
he's already there.
Great. That's what I'm saying.
He's really. I was like imagine him teasing the cash in versus Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. They would boo the shit out of him, especially in Philly. Dude, it'd be the best thing. Like he couldn't I can't hear you. You like literally cannot cash in.
Like who cashing in? Who? I can't hear you. Like come on, man. But yeah, I got Drew being Seth. I got Rhea Ripley retaining. You know, for obvious reasons. You know.
For what reason, bro?
I mean, I'm trying to get other matches on there.
Gunther
you said
Zayn.
I got Gunther winning that.
Jimmy and
maybe a year ago, Sami Zayn could have beat him. I would have been happy, but not right now.
Jimmy and Jay.
I like what you said about Jimmy winning. Jay is so much over right now.
Yo, he's huge right now, man.
Like
that's why I
he
like.
Got me doing.
If he does win, I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind who wins that match. Realistically, I do think it should play into the main event.
Jimmy and Solo hasn't won a match in like 2 years though. So,
how long can Jimmy go without winning a match?
He beat John Cena and hasn't won since. So I don't know what's going on.
Jimmy getting his ass whooped now. I ain't gonna lie. Like the enforcer, not enforcing nothing. So it's like what you mean?
And then that's what I'm saying. Then what I was saying about the Rock and Roman Reigns situation. I mean, you end up with 2 champions on Raw. I mean, you could switch one to SmackDown. It probably end up being Drew or Seth at that rate. But you look at Roman, like even if they don't switch and Roman loses, what do you do with Roman? Roman takes time off. He said he doesn't want to take time off. Like he's here. He said he's not at the top. He don't want to be here. Then if Roman Reigns is not on SmackDown, who the fuck is on? Like, I mean, you got heads on SmackDown.
Nobody on SmackDown. You leave if you leave a Roman Reigns sized hole in SmackDown, they're going to struggle. But the only good thing about SmackDown right now, besides Roman Reigns, is they have all the women. They have all of them. So if they really want to make SmackDown be completely different from Raw, and they just have the women just tear the house down for an hour out of the 2 hours, good, because you got Jay coming in now. I mean, it's crazy to think that Naomi's probably like the 9th or 10th best woman on the roster. Nothing against Naomi, but she's not going to touch that title anytime soon. And like I said, you still got Tiffany Stratton. You still got Dakota Kai, who just came back. You got Asuka. You got Kairi Sane. You got literally names on names. So
you do got NXT guys like Braun Breaker. I think he's on SmackDown now. You got Carmelo Hayes. I mean, you could call them up, but
I expect Carmelo Hayes to be up.
Is SmackDown going on Netflix too?
No.
Oh,
I think, but they are losing their TV deal with Fox.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know, man.
I should say losing. Is expiring. I don't think they're gonna renew it.
They're going to USA.
I think that was what it was. Yes, they were going to USA.
It's like shit like that. It's like it's like Roman Reigns lose. It's like looking.
They
at
had to jump
Raw
too many hurdles for Fox. That's what it was.
Raw is just gonna be killing SmackDown then at that rate. Like,
but that's what they want. They want Raw to be top dog again. You know what I'm saying? They want that 3-hour show to be better than a 2-hour show. It's hard to do that.
They might even go back to 2.
Yeah, they should. They should, realistically. But I want to ask you, Damon. So I'm not sure if you watch Raw, but Michael Cole alluded to the fact that both titles are on the line in that in the ladder match, both the Raw and the SmackDown titles. Like, do you think there's a realistic
somebody's
chance
gonna grab the Raw?
That somebody gonna and who if it was anybody to grab one set of titles and just leave, if they didn't, if they never said anything, it'd have been 100 times better. If he just climbed up there and grabbed the titles and left and grabbed the Raw ones and just left, that'd have been 100 times better. I think they messed up by saying that both of them are on the line, because now it's like, all right, now you either take away the comedy aspect and you have R-Truth and The Miz in the match with the Raw titles, and they have to take them down the second set. So then you build it, like, obviously it's more obvious that they win it, but it's like, imagine if, let's say you're Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, who I think should win the SmackDown titles on that side. Why wouldn't you grab the Raw ones when, well, why would you just grab the SmackDown one and just not go? Like, would you just be out the match? That's why I'm thinking. Like, I think they shot themselves in the foot by saying that. I thought they should have just let R-Truth just do it and then explain it later. Like, say, all right, R-Truth, he does all the wrong things at the right times. Like the ladder into the Royal Rumble, he was scared. I remember he was also scared of heights, and that was also a thing. And he ended up saying he don't like heights. And it's like, bro, you're in an elimination chamber. You're not. There's no heights involved.
Like, I don't think he was in that ladder match he was talking about.
He said he was in a. He said he was in a Money in the Bank, and he wasn't. He said he's gonna throw Paul Heyman over the top rope, and like he said, he's always done this crazy, outlandish stuff. And like when you take away from that aspect of him, it's like, damn, you really could have had him do that shit and just be like, fuck it. No other big matches. I'll add on to what you said about Drew McIntyre. Here's the only way. This is the only way. The only way I would have Damian Priest cash in is if it's during the match. That's the only way. Don't let Drew win yet. Because this is Drew's best run. But he doesn't need the title right now. I think you still have to get to the Scottish psychopath. You got to get to him being unhinged. He's a troll right now. He's still kind of like a cocky heel right now. If you let him get to be an unhinged heel, he'll be way better. I think you have him get, if not a visual pin, or the pin where he's about to get the pin, and I guess like let's say Finn Balor drags the ref out the ring, and then it's not a DQ, but then they cash in, and it's like, all right, they cashing in. Now you got Damian Priest in there. New match, anything can happen, and it's like, do you really want to pin Seth Rollins most likely back-to-back nights?
Yeah, because I don't think Cody Rhodes.
That's where I kind of get like, all right, it's kind of hard to pin Seth Rollins back-to-back nights.
When you brought up Judgment Day, if Damian Priest do cash in, I do think they're gonna turn on Damian Priest because Damian Priest.
That's what I was saying. Damian Priest should win it if he cashes in there in a triple threat, because then you build the seeds of that. Like him and Rhea are the ones that came out as winners. You have to eventually keep this either Rhea and Dom shit going, or have Dom go off on his own. I'm assuming that Dom stays with Rhea though. Mm-hmm. Finn has nothing besides JD McDonough. Damian Priest has nothing besides nothing. Then I guess they'll do a program with Finn and Damian Priest. Do I want that too much? Not really. Not really looking forward to that. But I do look forward to who they planted seeds with. They planted seeds with Imperium. If Gunther drops the title, then he needs to be getting that title soon. Like he needs to be getting that World Heavyweight title soon. If he doesn't, and we got to go through a whole summer and some change with Damian Priest as champion, he gonna be on SmackDown for damn sure. That motherfucker gonna be on SmackDown for damn sure.
He gonna be on a pre-show defending his belt.
He gonna be the third match of the night, and they got 8 matches on there. Like they're gonna remember he was on the card. You can't have Damian Priest have a long sustainable reign. I think they can hold off on Finn Balor turn on him until they get to like. I feel like that feud doesn't need a title. I'm not looking for Finn Balor versus Damian Priest in a 3-match series, and Damian Priest just keeps going over and over, like making one big match, end it there. Only issue I have with Damian Priest winning the title is like you do have to send him to SmackDown. You would have to have him maintain a brand that had Roman Reigns for the last 4 years.
Yeah, you can't.
That's not fair to him, realistically.
At all.
It's lit to him.
That's what I was like. It is like it's either like, do you want to be on Fox for the next 6 months, or do you want to be on Netflix to start the year? It's like most people are going to be on a Netflix deal. Mm-hmm. They're just going to want to be there. It sucks for the people that are going to be on SmackDown, because you will have Damian Priest, Logan Paul, you know what I'm saying, as your main 2 champions. Is like, how much is that going to sustain SmackDown? Most likely. They should. I think you send the entire Judgment Day to SmackDown. You send Imperium to SmackDown. And you could send, if you want, I guess, if Roman retains, you send the Bloodline to Raw. And then you at least have the Bloodline name attached to Raw, even if Roman Reigns is not there. And then he comes back.
That's true, but
he comes back the first night of Netflix and declares for the Royal Rumble. And then that's when you get your whole.
If Roman Reigns come back and Cody Rhodes is still champ, I can't get a trilogy with them. I'm sorry.
Why not, bro?
I can't watch a third fight.
Why not, bro?
I can't.
Why not?
If he does come to Raw though, I just feel like you got Punk there. I think McIntyre switches to SmackDown too if he wins.
He should. He also should.
It's just Roman losing, man. I don't see it, bro. Like, I really believed it a month or two ago, and like now.
With the retirement stuff, he teased.
Yeah.
But I feel
like
like
he just say that shit.
I feel
like
that's more or less
like
like if he's champ, then that means I'm not here for that. Y'all gonna have to figure this shit out without me. Y'all gonna miss me when I'm gone, kind of thing. More or less like
because there's no sense in
I'm
him.
done. He can. But I think it's better if he retires now and you build up his return.
That's what I'm saying. Because even if he loses, like what are you gonna do with him? Like
He
rematch
has
Cody.
to go. He has to go.
Rematch Cody has to go. So if Roman's ready for time off, then you do it. But I mean, if he says, yo, I don't want no time off, like let's do it, he's probably gonna win it again. Because who the fuck is he gonna feud with? Like Solo Sikoa or some shit like.
So like the ending of Raw the other night, Roman is holding his belt up, but then The Rock was holding the American Nightmare weight belt up. Do you think that maybe The Rock could potentially turn on Roman Reigns and maybe that builds up for SummerSlam or something? Because I don't think The Rock is going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't think so either. But this is what I think they do. I think you tease the turn at Mania. You don't do it. Roman is still gone. You still have Cody as champ. You do Cody versus The Rock, but you wait till the first night of Netflix because I don't think it's big enough for Cleveland. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's big enough for Cleveland.
City,
I know, but I just don't think it's big enough for Cleveland. If it was like almost anywhere else, like then you do that. But like for me, SummerSlam lost a lot of appeal as of late. If they were in Brooklyn, like because Brooklyn was hot for The Rock. If they switched that to Brooklyn like last minute, nobody would complain because then you could do Rock versus Cody, and then Roman comes back, costs him, then you build that Rock and Roman match. Because I think that deserves 6, 7, 8 months of build compared to if you bring him back on the first night of Netflix, I think, which is the first Monday of New Year. You only got 4 months to build a match where those guys take about 30, 45 minutes of TV time.
Damn, what do we do till then?
I think it's tough though for The Rock to turn on Cody because like The Rock been beating his ass. So it's like, do you really hate Roman that much to like help somebody you've been beating his ass and talking about his moms and his family and shit? Like you've been for months though. Like you ain't even I don't even think you touched Seth yet.
That's why I think it's more or less of Roman turning on The Rock because it was good before you got here. I was retaining before you got here. Now my first match, you're back. I got to go against Cody.
Yeah,
and you failed me, and I lost my title. I feel like that would fuel him up to, I'm saying, obviously disappear. They don't have to tease, they don't have to talk about, they don't have to mention Roman until he comes back. Because then you have to. I miss those big returns, and I'm sure you could hide Roman enough within. I mean, if you do it right, you don't got to do it right. Then with The Rock, it was like he's in Birmingham. What the fuck is in Birmingham besides SmackDown that night? It was like he was gonna come back. Like he's gonna come back, and then like they was in Colorado. It was like well, he was just at game day, so why wouldn't he come? It's like he's in the area. So it's like stuff like that. Like if you do it right, you could have a huge return for Roman in the right city at the right time. But I would think more or less they turn Roman on The Rock.
See, but Roman hasn't turned on nobody yet in his career. Like,
that's why I'm saying you gotta make it big. Crazy, you have to make it. It's like him not turning on nobody makes it better because now he's feeling desperate. He had like the whole point of after him losing the title, he has to be desperate. He can't be just, all right, I'm still the tribal chief. Like he has to feel like he has to earn that back. He has to beat the final boss.
He the tribal chief.
And The Rock built up the final boss so much that like maybe I don't want to be the tribal chief no more. Maybe I want to be the final boss. And I take The Rock's role and I come back when I want to. I take the matches I want to. So I feel like, I don't know, there's a lot of dynamics with The Rock and Roman, The Rock and Cody, Roman and Cody, and even eventually, most likely, Seth and Cody as well. Because we didn't even touch on that. That's just a whole different conversation that could last forever, realistically.
They got endless options.
Yeah, they have endless, and it's like, are any of them any bad? Like, there's like any of them you win, you literally win on any of them, realistically. Yeah, it's a stacked Mania card. Everybody's on it. It's pretty good for the company to have The Rock back. I mean, they're gonna do crazy numbers, so good for the people that are involved. If you didn't make the cut for Mania, it's like, damn, we might not ever touch it. if you ain't touched this Mania, you're not touching any Mania ever, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. They got everybody on that shit. Anything else you guys gotta add though?
not really.
All right, Damien, close the show, bro. With a quote.
I thought we were doing a surprise quiz.
We were gonna, but we ran out of time, man.
Oh, okay. Nah, I don't.
All right, the surprise quiz, bro.
No,
Who-
I
who-
got
who-
it.
no.
I
I'm
got
cheating.
it.
No,
I
I'm
thought
cheating.
you-
No.
I thought
It's a question for you. Yesterday was we're gonna cheat a little bit. Yesterday, imagine today is April 3rd. April 3rd was WrestleMania 32. What was the main event? Yeah, go ahead. No. Because
I thought you were stronger. I thought you were stronger, bro. I thought
you wanted that bad. Bro. What was the main event?
Cut the cameras.
No, what was the main event?
I don't know, bro.
I think that was like the Seth Rollins.
32 might have been the
Brock
worst
Lesnar.
one.
I think it was Seth, Brock,
in a
and
long
Roman.
time.
Was that main event?
You
I
said it
think?
was who?
Seth, Brock, and Roman. That main event. Well, it was Brock.
No.
and Roman. That
You're a
was
year
30.
off. You're a year off.
Damn,
Think of shit. Just think of shit. Like just shittiest manias.
Ronda Rousey main event.
Nah.
Roman
That's
Reigns and
fucked
Triple
up.
H.
Yes, Roman Reigns and Triple H
Oh.
was the main event.
Yeah.
That was a shit. They had The Rock and John Cena on that one though. That's when he fought Eric Rowan. Yep. But there has never been the last Mania on April 4th was like I think Mania 9 or some shit.
Oh, that's wild.
I think it was like Yokozuna versus Bret Hart. So I don't want to go that. I don't go that far.
The bloodline.
I didn't want to go that far. So
The bloodline. That's funny.
no.
And ended on a quote, bro.
And on a quote, I ain't got one to be honest with you.
And we'll see y'all next week.
See you next week. What is it? I think we're doing NBA
I think
playoff stuff.
next
Yeah,
week,
NBA playoff
Tell
talk.
you this much, man. New Orleans fall out the playoffs. Might not make it
Not
this week,
here.
man.
When I see you ever again.
Might not make it. We was just the 5th seed like a week ago.
Which I 6 now?
We 7th.
7th.
couldn't
Man,
imagine.
Suns is 5th and Kings is 6th, I believe.
I love it.
But I might crash out. I'm gonna crash the fuck out. I'm gonna make it this year, man. I'm gonna lie to you.
With that being said, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you guys next week.
I didn't realize it was 220.
Yeah, we did good on the Vince segment, but the predictions went.